Well, this is ultimate. If you want to, see my gaming channel and see what we're doing there, just follow the link in the description below, and I'll see y'all there. Ultimate Game. I'm seeing a lot of stuff over here, a lot of interesting special moves that you got,
so,
bro. And
kind of
probably
going
like
over
some
from right
other
to left,
side,
on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond.
grenades.
So
Well, not
those
sort of
are,
grenades,
everything that you
magic
see in it are
spells.
slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Maybe.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times, and Revelio is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly, is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories.
I don't know, that Gryffindor drip got me going.
Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is.
I wonder how many people walk around and roam around.
And I'm calling out here. This is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released. You'll notice the music's a little bit different.
I can't hear it.
And that is
I got my mic in. I got my TV down so it won't echo through my recording. So
we just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. So you can customize that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
Wow.
Sorry, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings. The common room, the round doors.
I probably got this confused. This is not Gryffindor. This is Hufflepuff.
Badgers on the
It's
fireplace.
got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses, right?
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw is air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water.
Yeah, okay.
Really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were.
They go to ghosts.
Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're gonna be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
Very tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there.
Really now?
Yeah. So
the Hufflepuff
these
common
are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it.
Mhm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the corner. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, in our game, wait, what? You know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other?
Well, don't mess with me.
Okay.
Don't mess with me.
So we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by
even though it was 20
so there's
minutes.
something that we call
What?
the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide.
Okay,
you can
levels.
see your house
Quests,
kind
you
of
got
crushed over it.
collections,
And you can see that on your
talents,
level as
inventory,
well.
gear,
So that the field guide
challenges.
has this magical property
Wow,
of
okay, you
looking
got a lot
out
of
into the
stuff
world
going
around
on.
you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors
So
have
cool.
granted it to you as a late 5th year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges,
Gotcha.
exploration challenges. And you can see field guide pages
Quest,
on there as well.
exploration,
So-
field guide
Yeah,
pages.
about that one field guide page. Right?
That entire category is one of the ways that
So you got
the book itself
got
kind
small,
of fills
you got
out into the
questions that
school and
collect.
spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going
That's
to
pretty dope.
interact with
Okay.
to help you
I don't
grow as a
mind going
wizard
around
and
school
practice
doing
your
something.
spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase
Yeah.
here. We're not gonna.
Circular staircase.
All
to
the
match tower.
portraits.
Yeah.
And I did notice the flue flame just ignite right there, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fast travel points there. House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all
Oh,
those
they're
in
gorgeous,
there?
but that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to
nod
the
to
Great
lore.
Hall.
It's a nod to lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the
Yeah,
game. It is
we didn't turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
Wizard
Andrew
world.
was teasing. That's the Great
Great
Hall
Hall.
over
Yeah.
through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick
Oh,
up.
just
and-
like that. Like
I just
magic.
shot straight from the trailer too. That part right there.
I can finally say that
I
now.
recognize
We might
that.
be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those. So
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put in
Is
this
it weather
kinda-
changing?
I get surprised by it all the time.
That's a
you know that was a
sentient magic
thing.
castle. So
It will be crazy that
man.
the weather be changing.
And we're going out. Look at that.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate, just to kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside of the Great Hall before and after
Okay.
meals.
And I love the way that when the castle interconnects to
Oh, bro, they really
that it
kinda went in
interconnects
this
outside,
game.
inside.
Kinda
There
went in
are
on this
pathways
game.
on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how
When it
big
comes
this
to,
castle
like,
is.
And when you
give
see
it
things
that
like
feel
you'll
of
notice a bridge over
Hogwarts.
there, that's a place you can go to and cross. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
we
Okay.
we put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive. Not just with student
I'm trying to see
population,
if
but
this
even
is
just
going to
the
be
green rooms
co-op
in
no
Scotland.
time
Yeah.
soon.
And this castle's been here
or
for
in the
hundreds of
future
years,
wise.
so it just kind
I
of
don't know.
the
That
moss
depends,
and all the
probably.
trees that have overgrown
When the
it.
game
and-
sells well,
gosh.
I give it the game
That
sells well.
landscape,
They
that
probably
Scottish
sell it for
Location
free.
might look a little familiar to you.
Ghost
I
of Tsushima
thought
did
I
that before.
recognized it. I
They
believe
did that.
this is from
And they shocked
the
us, and
Spring
that game wasn't even
ASMR.
co-op
And
until that.
yes,
Until
so
then,
that
So that
right
whole
there, that
new
view,
mode can't happen.
Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts contains a
No
lot of
spoilers, I see.
Oh my God.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the
different
greenhouse
location.
outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that. I love
each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration
Of course.
courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of a the hub
Oh my
of
God.
a lot of the castle.
Even the color,
Jesus, bro,
visually,
this is
you can
beautiful.
just tell, okay, green,
Green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh my God.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah,
it'll
it's
help
too
you really
beautiful, bro.
learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
Book flying.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis. It's a castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm
man.
doing. I know what I'm
From the reveal trailer. There's that dragon.
Makes
Oh my
him
God.
This is another location where the students will gather, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
So conversation can lead to side quests.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact with your fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with, various things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts, I think. There's a
in this
little
case,
bit of that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
This is
this is our
just
way
too
to
good.
kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it.
I'm still in
what
12
we can
minutes
do, and
in,
then those
bro.
interactions.
I thought it was gonna be
different
done.
interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a
Sometimes
nice
it's just about
guy
the
or just
mission.
being a jerk.
Yeah. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts. Power, which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of this area.
Very iconic, very unique to the castle.
Somebody else
Anywhere
that we can
else.
talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year
A
or an
conversation
11-year-old.
with some other
Are
people.
you all
in the
right?
video.
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers.
Interesting
Everett and
thing,
Astoria are
the
terrible
concept
as well.
to play, but
And now those poor
the
losers
smell?
have taken my
No,
gobstones.
bro, I ain't finna go
and
around
hidden
smell
them in
like
a very
booty
high
meat.
place.
What the fuck was that?
Traces all over the school.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think
Try
I
a
know the
different
necessary
game?
spells yet.
How about
I
some
need
chess?
Perhaps a selfless and
Checkers?
talented fifth year to help me.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't.
I ain't gonna lie, how that game was gonna.
That's a good example of
I wouldn't come back either.
Too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstone's playable. They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's Chest.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah. They're featured within the world. Right?
I'm glad they're mentioned. They're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it, we also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're like,
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work.
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and
defense
that kind of thing.
Like,
can I miss class?
That was too fast. I couldn't read it. It was too fast. I couldn't catch it.
There is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative.
So much content. So much.
There's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also
they just went up and took the tea.
Optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment.
They went in on this thing.
Engage with the world, and
maybe
city, bro. Sipping some tea with the
Victorian high,
high society.
High society.
I say by doing this around like Hogwarts, this should not even affect the hardware as much. Going inside and the building so much.
The sound effects.
If you want to do something like side missions or talk to people,
footsteps, like
that's not even going to hurt the hardware.
It feel more alive.
I saw two people on a broom there.
I just saw a broom there.
Yeah, I saw them.
The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and
personality. I like that because it does like Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah. It's a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years. Yeah. It's going to kind of grow and develop. I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic.
Wait, what?
Okay,
I ain't even catch that one.
We talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky, and he's got his bow truck.
Either an animal or somebody.
And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway.
I ain't trying to make this long enough. It's 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I'm going, y'all. Peace.